Yeah, I'm back in this. I'm back off of it. Talk about it. Talk about being in my terrible twos. I think it's terrible news. People think they need to be something they don't need to be. It's crazy. If you're asking me, but don't ask me, please. Got a lot of things like these aspen trees have been dropping leaves in the fall. It seems to get falling. Please, can we pick ourselves back up? Call it the broken bootstrap. How about we talk about a thing or two? See if we can hit the ceiling, dude. Just to drop back down again. You're out of it. Y'all get out and in and back and forth. Talk about it a lot. I talk about it, I'll stop. Someday maybe, but they see things that I don't want to see, so I've been closing my eyes again. I'm trying then. I've been trying just a bit too hard. Kind of funny how that happens. It comes in the times when I'm wrapped in my mind that I start rapping again, and then I find I'm behind, because I could have been rapping all the time, and then I'm rhyming. When we do things like this, we get back on the level we were on before. Y'all just on it, huh? You're all on it sore. You think you're on top of the ball, but you're just running down the hall. What y'all running is out of time. Yeah. Trying to reach something you never could. Perfection in the life of imperfect people. I'm a people, as I say. Often I make it pretty clear that we're equal. Day by day, the days go by, and we all try to get flying higher and higher than the next guy. Running out of oxygen, we're stopping then. Once we get humbled and grounded just a bit, we wake up from our delusions. Find out we're moving to a place that's pretty hard, pretty quickly. We wake up and start shifting our gears to a lower speed, finding out that we don't need to be flying at such high of heights. Do you get it? Skydiving. Instead of trying to reach for the sky, we can understand that the sky always falls. But when we start yelling about it, people call us a chicken, thinking that we're just wishing that life could be different. But really, we're the ones awake. I like to sleep in. One thing I'm not sleeping on is the truth. Since I was just a youth, I was in my terrible twos. It's a Metronome Madness episode 11, -1. I'm trying to find the fun that I used to have. In my youth, I'd grab life by the reins. But now I'm trying to find the reins in a desertous place. It seems dry as can be. But I think we can see that the Israelites were in the place they didn't like for like 40 years, and they retired from a hard place and landed on the rock, between a rock and a hard place. They got deliverance. I've been delivering this like a message, like a letter. I've been sending it to you and wondering if you're listening, and you better, if you know what's good for you. It's not about me, because sometimes I'm shouting and that's opposing a still small voice. But I get it. Got a lot of things that we're just throwing out with the trash. I'm going out and it's fast, like a flame. I better fill my candle with some oil. My lamp, burning brightly, holding tightly to an iron rod. Yeah. It's a good life we live. If we can look at things as the positive, if we're looking things as if the negative, well, it's affirmative that life will be seeming to be a hard thing. even when we hardly have a thing going on. You're out there mowing the lawn, you're turning left as you do it. Take a right turn instead with your movements. Lacing them shoes up correct. In the Image Clothing Company, there's only one center line to the human body. And I find it's easier to stay in a straight and narrow path the more centered you get, as we're trying to all get back to the presence of God. It's a hard place to be. This life as a human being. It's supposed to be a struggle, though. Y'all getting ready to struggle, bro? In the last days, it gets harder and harder. Standing on that firm ground, though, that's what you're looking for. The only place to go is up. Sometimes we feel the elevation the most when we're dropping downhill fast. When we start to sink, or so we think. But what does it mean to be grounded? I used to think I wanted to be flighty all the time because I felt like I could do whatever I wanted with my life. But all the things that I thought that I wanted just left me empty. And lately I've been finishing on empty, so that I can learn what it really means to be reliant on daily bread. Because when the pantry's got nothing in it, I don't think much will come from wishing or hoping. But faith in God, knowing that He would sit there in His heavenly kingdom and drop bread daily for those people, wandering with nowhere to go, wondering if they'd ever make it home. And really the commandment was, stop trying so hard, because life is. And you don't want to fight fire with fire, but you want to be baptized by fire and rise from an ash or two. There's a lot of ups and downs we go through in life, you know, rising and falling, like the bread we make. You think you made a mistake. When you're kneading the bread, pounding it down, thinking, well, isn't this supposed to rise? And then you let it have some time, and it elevates. And then it bakes, going through the heat of the fire. That's when it gets higher and higher. There's a lot of metaphors and similes and things that seem similar to other things. And that's kind of what's crazy about life, is there's a lot of things that we like that are like a lot of things that we need, but a little bit off. Sometimes I'm a little bit off too, you know, off the tempo, off on the things I'm trying to explain. Sometimes I'm off, you know. Sometimes we're just not quite on the mark, but we're marking things off as if we know what we're doing. Getting a little bit confused in the things that we're claiming are delusions, because actually they're the things we're supposed to do. But when it's opposing just about everybody around, who's to say? Whose opinion matters anyway, though, right? Are you listening too close when you're listening in to the things that you don't really fully understand, but you're trying to understand, you know? Sounds like it makes some sense. This guy's got a lot of money. This guy's got a lot of followers. This girl's pretty. She seems to have an influence over people. Who do we really listen to when you step outside that steeple, right? And step into life? the evil world out there they tell you to watch out for. Once you get out there in the real world, you'll get hit by a ton of bricks. Yeah? That might be just the wake-up call you need to understand you should have stayed underneath the steeple. We're commanded to be in the world, not of it. So stay out of it by turning the other cheek, by being meek and humble, turning inside when everybody's looking all around them and searching through the rubble in a fallen world. You're not going to find much there. A few leftovers maybe. Some things that are barely worth anything. But where your worth comes is inside, and it never changes actually. Despite popular opinion, I don't care about opinions. But I care about truth, and that's God. The one who never changes his view, because he's got an all-searching eye. And he sees it all anyway. I call it Metronome Madness because sometimes I'm so offbeat to what the world thinks I should be, they call me crazy. I get it. I really do. Sometimes I'd agree with you if you'd be saying that. I get it. Episode 10. You know? Getting hit by a ton of bricks, that's what I'm laying. A foundation. For my posterity. Because I'm the one that goes before. So before I go, I'm going to do all that I can to try to help lay a little bit of a legacy for people to see. The truth. In a continuously evil world, progressively getting worse and worse as the days go on. You're in a daze, so gone, thinking that's where you'd like to be, trying to see clearly. Clearly, it's harder to see, though. The more you alter yourself. It's fun in a house full of mirrors. Putting the focus on you starts to get misconstrued who you really are. Trying to find out who you are by listening to the opinions of others. Your mother, your ex-girlfriend, for all you men out there, and your ex-boyfriend, for all you women. Kidding yourself, thinking you can do whatever, with whoever, at any time, with no consequence. Because y'all jumping over the fence just to hop back on the other side when you think that it's a good place to hide. So wishy-washy, you wish you washed yourself cleaner, and you feel so dirty all the time, trying to hide from your own sins by committing other ones to cover the first. We all got covered in the first because there was a plan laid before it happened. The atonement. At one meant. Meaning, that's what it meant then, that's what it means now. Somehow we forget that we're all equals. And that's why it's good to stay under that steeple. Metaphorically, though, because our bodies are a temple. In the Image Clothing Company, what do? Allow the human body to work. To stand in a holy place and be not moved doesn't mean to stand inside a temple, though. Made of rock and stone. But maybe a temple that resembles the one who atoned. We take the bread, we take the water or wine, we take these things and sit here and start to remind ourselves, well, really, Allow ourselves to be open to the Spirit of God, which brings all things to our remembrance if we let it just sit inside of us. But sometimes we don't even want to sit inside of us. It's like we're driving a bus full of people, hoping that the back door's open and a few of them fall out because there's a lot of noise inside and we like to hide, but we don't know how to escape. So we're pushing people away. Driving ourselves insane. Do you get it at all? At all? At all? Does anybody get it? Does anybody get it? Am I the one that needs the most help? Because I'm the one that keeps starting to yell. I'm making a lot of noise about some things, right? You know what they say, the loudest wheel, the one that squeaks the most, it gets the most grease. Lubricating some things, some mobility, some movement, please. Living a stagnant life, I'd like to try to move around a bit. So I'm going to start shouting, kids. I've been shouting since I was one. But it just looked different when I was a toddler or an elementary school kid, screaming about something in the lunchroom or a new pair of shoes. Then as a 26-year-old man that's sitting here on a bench at a park, yelling at a phone, people think I'm the one that needs to go fetch a bone of truth. People looking at me like I'm the youth, the one that needs to grow up. Y'all need to grow up. Calm down a bit by getting a loud mouth. Because we all get so fed up with things we shut down. And nobody likes to speak the truth anymore, afraid of offending someone. You know what? I'll lend you is a run. Take it, leave it. Take it or leave it, I don't care. I don't need it. I don't run anyway. A lot of people just keep running away from things in a place that seems to be on fire. You know that little phrase people say, where's the fire? When you're moving so fast. Yeah. It's all gonna end anyway. So take your time. You try to rush to the end, you might get there first. And that's not really what you want. You can call it Metronome Madness if you'd like. A ticking time bomb. That's what you have the least amount of time on when you're trying to diffuse a situation. Right? When things are getting so crazy, stop with the haste. It's hard to see clearly when we're just stirring up water and trying to see through the bottom to see if there really is an end point to all this. I like stirring up water, but in a stagnant life, sometimes it's really good to sit still. Sometimes no distractions. Doesn't have to be scary. And really, I'm going to go so far as to say not just sometimes, but we don't need to be distracting ourselves all the time. You're distracting yourselves from the distractions that you don't want to be looking at. So just stop looking and close your eyes. Relax. Take a step outside and sit back. Go up in the mountains or out in the plains. Go somewhere where you can actually start to feel a little bit sane because you can actually see the things that you're seeing instead of all the things that people are saying. There's so much noise. People treat life like a toy, just something to play with. Themselves and others as well. And then they cause others to live in hell. Because we can't help but trust, at least a little bit, someone who seems innocent. They're being kind to you. Yeah. Until you understand they've got more than one face. There's two sides to every coin. There's two sides to every story. And on a two-story building, I'd rather be on the bottom floor. You know, a little bit more grounded. A lot of people keep trying to climb to the top. A lot of people at certain times in life are me. Or at least, at certain times in life, I'm like what a lot of other people tend to see. I'm tending to things that don't last. I'm trying to keep my sparklers burning forever, rather than cutting some wood to keep the fire stoked. I get stoked when there's a new spark of encouragement for something that won't even last a week. And then something that'll last the rest of my life, sometimes I just want to leave. It's not flashy enough or shiny enough for me. I get lured into things like I'm fishing, but I'm fishing for compliments instead of for men. Heard correct. We're commanded to be fishers of men. Reeling people back in, pulling people back to the truth of God in a world full of chaotic currents, pulling us to places and things that are only current for a time that doesn't even seem to exist. Because really what is current is truth and eternal. It's not out there somewhere. Eternal life. Be like eternal. Eternal? I meant to say a turtle, but sometimes I am a little bit slow at saying things correct. But if you get inside your shell, that's actually a good place to be. Centered, in line, a straight and narrow path, in fact. That's the only way we're gonna get back. You're out there lost in the woods, right? You're looking for your way back home with no light. You're gonna bounce from thing to thing and begin to seem like you got no idea where to go. Or if you can find a path on a straight and narrow road, you're gonna follow that one home. Do you see what I'm saying? I'm just laying out a bunch of scriptures in a little bit of an unconventional way because I'm a lyricist. I don't care how much content I put out. I'm going to continue to shout where and when I do for the things I need to shout about. Because a lot of people are so lost. And like I said, sometimes I'm a lot of people. But God knows all. And what we can do is know God. But we got to understand that being on a high horse isn't going to allow us to do that. The more money you achieve, the more money can actually just leave. The more you got, the more you can spend. Then the less you have to spend. It kind of doesn't even make any sense. But it is what it is, kids. It's life. It's the same for all of us. So thank you. I'm gonna do a little parkour. Anyway, my name is Evan Strong, the founder of In The Image Clothing Company. Today is the 25th of July, 2025. This is Metronome Madness, episode 10. Thank you.